Let's learn a little, shall we? It is Talking Law Time on Radio 97. Our resident lawyer, Despina Priala, of boutique law firm Priala Legal in Runaway Bay, with us each and every Thursday morning. She brings her legal expertise and she provides some general advice on the latest hot topics. She has experience that spans more than 25 years in the area of property and commercial law. She also prepares wills as part of estate planning and litigation. Morning, Despina.
Good morning, Wayne. Good morning, Brooke.
Good morning, Desi. Welcome to another Thursday, and we've got some big topics to chat through this morning. First up is popular home building company Metricon is hitting headlines everywhere across Australia this week, and it seems like it's for a few dodgy reasons, in my personal opinion. And just recently, another massive building company just folded. What's going on?
Yeah, it's a lot to talk about, and in the wake of as you said, GCB is the latest builder to fold. And I think that was on the cards for some time. People in the industry, like myself and others, did predict it. And it's happened. So it was as of last Thursday, I believe. First of all, their building license was suspended. And then the very next day, within 24 hours, of course, the license was cancelled. And they're in liquidation or receivership. Whichever one it is, it doesn't matter. The point being they folded. So there is no more GCB and there is no more building activity undertaken by them, which is a shame again, because GCB was the nominated builder on various projects on the Gold Coast, at least 4 that I'm aware of. And those particular projects where people have signed under and off the plan, they'll all be sitting in abeyance, waiting for the developer to try and bring in another builder to take over, which is extremely difficult in this market. So with the wake of GCB going under, and yes, you actually brought it to my attention, and I've read this article about Metricon Homes. And look, this whole segment this morning isn't a go about, Metricon Homes and putting them down or any other builder per se, but it's important to mention these articles for the purposes of alerting homeowners and consumers to what is going on. And it's public information now. It's been reported. Now, obviously, it's an article. It's been reported. As to whether there is truth in every single statement, we don't know 100%. But there is some credence to be given in relation to what the article was saying, which is about builders per se in general. Some of them terminating their fixed contract prices to build homes for consumers. And that's been happening lately. And we talked about this on the show many times. And we're talking about consumers, homeowners signing up build contracts early on, whenever that may be, and signing it with a particular reputable, builder, quote unquote reputable, to build their dream home. And this article actually mentioned quite a few retirees who actually signed up to have various homes built, in New South Wales predominantly, but also Victoria and Queensland. And now apparently, I will say apparently, what has happened is that Metricon has given notice to terminate these various fixed price build contracts and said, look, the building construction costs have increased. There's escalation. You're going to have to pay up extra, or we're just going to have to let it go. And these people have obviously paid a deposit as well, and have been sitting around waiting for things to happen. And this article says, yes, their dreams have been crushed.
Yeah, because according to certain articles that we've read so far, we're not talking, a few $100s. We're talking thousands of dollars that
yes.
These people have to fork out. So it's either dream home or spending an extra, 10 grand, 15, 20 grand.
Exactly. This article was published by the ABC, so you can Google it yourself. The ABC News reported that in some cases there have been requests for increase to build fixed price build contracts up to 150,000 or more. And some of these people, being retirees, as it was reported, obviously can't afford to do that. So, this article is very much about, yes, the poor consumer and the homeowner. And I feel for these people, obviously, if this is happening to them, because you sign a fixed price contract and you go, okay, I've got certainty. I know my bill contract is X, my bill price is X, and nothing's going to change. If I want variations along the way, I understand those will be costed. And if I agree to those variations, then the price increases according to those fixed variations that I've agreed to. So that's where both parties talk about a variation. But let's talk a little bit about perhaps what's going on here. Within the context of a recent case that I mentioned, you might recall we talked about this a few weeks ago, and there was a big district court case in Queensland about a builder who was trying to increase the build price unilaterally. And that case was called Perera and Bold properties. Everyone in the legal industry that does this type of law is talking about this case. It's a very, very important case, and it's only a recent case. And the reason why it's very important for people to, again, have their ears pricked up today to listen is because in that case, the court determined that a clause in a build contract, which is a standard HIA contract, that attempted to unilaterally increase a fixed build price was found to be void for uncertainty and an unfair contract term. Now, that's a big deal, okay, because that's been determined in a district court. And if you are in a situation where you've got a builder sending you notices, you know, could be as informal as, here's an email, hey, guess what? We're going to have to increase your build price, and we're going to increase it by 1% of the base home price, or 2% of the base home price, or whatever the terminology is. What does that even mean? And that is a common terminology that builders are using. We're going to increase it by the base home price. Well, what is the base home price? And the base home price is not defined in these build contracts typically, which is what was found in this case. There was no formula that was set out objectively to determine how a price could be increased.
From a consumer's point of view, you can understand the term fixed if you're told it is a fixed price, meaning it will not move. And if you sign it on that basis, and suddenly, well, you find it's no longer fixed at the point that you thought it would be, surely that's well, it doesn't live up to its name, does it? If anything else.
No, that's right. And you have to say to yourself, and I say to all the consumers, why, particularly in the current market conditions, why would you sign a build contract without getting advice? I mean, if you were ever going to get legal advice before you sign something, this is it. I mean, for God's sake, get advice. I have to say it like that. I mean, because you need to have a lawyer that's experienced to review that contract before you sign and check for things like, okay, what's the price? Is there a clause that allows for the price to be increased? If so, how is that price being increased? Does the clause say by negotiation in certain circumstances, and then this is the methodology? Or is it simply a clause that says builder may increase price if this happens?
So basically what you're saying is that something could be called a fixed contract, a fixed price contract, but depending on those clauses, it could very much mean something else.
Yes, exactly right. And you'd be looking for things like price increase clauses. You'd be looking for things like delay damages clauses. And particularly when people are signing build contracts where they don't even own the land. And we talked about this on the show recently. You have an off-the-plan contract. You don't even own the land. So you're signing up early because generally builders work with developers on, you know, house and land packages in projects. So they get some builders, you know, in the background there going to talk to buyers that have already signed an off-the-plan contract for land and saying, okay, we'll go talk to your builder early, lock that price in. You're not locking a price in at all, because what's happening is that these builders are then going around, some builders, not all, are going around saying, well, we're going to have to increase the price now. Here's the new price. And the buyers are going, well, hang on, what does this mean? I don't know. How can you do this? This isn't right. It's unjust. It's unfair. And I'm not happy with this. What can I do? You know, and I think the time has come and gone where consumers can go around in the market and say, you know, it's a reputable builder. I trust this builder. I'm just going to sign this build contract, you know, blindfolded almost, I have to say, because you're not getting that critical advice. And we know what to look for. We know the pivotal clauses to look for. And if we do find a clause like that, well, sorry, we're not agreeing to that. We're going to agree to something different. We're going to change it to say, okay, if you're saying your prices have gone up, your labor costs have gone up, your material prices, which they have, yes, we all can see that happening. then the clause has to say, well, we're going to sit down and negotiate and talk about the possibility of a price increase, not a unilateral, I'm just going to do it and you're going to have to wear it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you come across fixed price contracts recently that are almost perfect, where there's no sneaky clauses and everything is fine and dandy and you can just sign the dotted line, there's no issues?
Well, no, because your standard, the problem that in my opinion, is that the standard HIA contract already provides the possibility for a builder to increase the price unilaterally. And I think that of itself is wrong. Now, who's going to sit around and wait for the standard HIA contract to be amended? If it ever is going to be amended, the point is you have to have a special condition to change those standard terms. So that particular right given to a builder that may already exist in your contract under standard terms, well, no, we're going to remove that and we're going to replace it with something that's reasonable, that's just, that's fair, okay, taking into consideration what's going on out there in the market. And in this particular case, with these contracts with Metricon, you have to ask yourself, why was there considerable delay? You know, apparently there was considerable delay with commencement of construction. And because of the length of delay, the price of labor and materials went up. So then their justification supposedly was, well, we're going to have to increase the price. Okay, but why was there all this delay? I don't understand what's going on. And if there is now an expected standard delay in commencement of construction because who knows why, delays outside control of builders, etc., then don't put your anticipated start date so early. You better extend that anticipated start date for a more reasonable period of time. So, yeah, the moral of the story is do not sign a build contract without proper advice.
Yep. So the term fixed price always comes with a little asterisk there up on the right.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Gosh, thank you so much, Despina. Now to some happy news. Let's do it. Did you know, Queensland, that the Home Builder Grant has actually been extended to the 30th of June 2025? Despina has the details coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Are you confused about legal jargon? Do you need legal advice but don't know where to turn? Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97. Despina, a leading lawyer with over 20 years of experience, will demystify the law and provide practical advice to help you navigate legal issues. Whether it's a family matter, a property dispute, or a business concern, Talking Law has got you covered. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97.